Every NFL safety from the all-time busts to first ballot Hall of Famers falls somewhere perfectly on one of these 7 levels. This ranking system has stayed true through every era of football, and even though most don't make it past level 4, those who make it to level 7 are remembered forever. However, to start, we need to go over level 1. Level 1 are the busts. To define a bust, we're only going to be picking players who were drafted in the first round with high expectations and didn't live up to them. To start, we have Jonathan Abram. The Oakland Raiders drafted this dude with the 27th overall pick in 2019, thinking they found their hard-hitting safety who could anchor their secondary. What they got instead was a walking penalty machine who couldn't stay healthy. In his career, Abram manages 5 interceptions across 55 games over 6 seasons, amongst a litany of injury. That's just not good enough production from a first-round pick. Then you have Matt Elam. The Baltimore Ravens drafted him with the 32nd overall pick in 2013, thinking they had found their successor to Ed Reed. Instead, they got a guy who finished his career with just 131 total tackles and 1 interception over 4 seasons. The Ravens were so disappointed that they moved on quickly, and Elam never found his footing elsewhere. He's still hated in Baltimore to this day. And we can't forget Calvin Pryor. The New York Jets took him with the 18th overall pick in 2014, believing also they had found their hard-hitting safety across the middle. Instead, he gave them just 2 interceptions, 193 total tackles over 4 seasons before washing out of the league. Jets kept trying to make it work for their 3 seasons before finally giving up, and his brief stint in Jacksonville was forgettable. But level 2 is where we get to starting level safeties. Now, if you've seen any of the other 7 level videos in this series, you know typically this is reserved for rotational players or backup positions. But honestly, the safety position is so stacked at every level after this, I'm just going to be using this as the starters level. These guys are very solid, dependable safeties, but you're not going to confuse them with the top tier of safety. Take Reed Blankenship. This guy went undrafted from Middle Tennessee and has carved out a nice role with the Philadelphia Eagles, putting up 230 career tackles and 8 interceptions over 4 seasons. Nothing flashy or spectacular, even though he is an exciting white, just does his job when called upon. Then you have Justin Reed, who's a perfect example of this level ceiling. Most of his career has been solid and dependable. The Texans, Chiefs, and now Saints have all trusted him to start games and make the routine plays. But here's the thing, these guys are really invaluable because they can absolutely be crucial to winning it all. Reed proved that with 2 Super Bowl rings in Kansas City. Reed Blankenship proved that with the Super Bowl ring with the Philadelphia Eagles, and so did Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. He represents another classic level 2 guy. He had decent production bouncing from New Orleans to Philadelphia to Detroit, back to Philly, and now in Houston. 18 career interceptions and 314 tackles over 7 seasons. He's always been pretty good, never bad enough to need an immediate upgrade, but he was never consistent enough or loved enough in the locker room to stay on one team. Level 2 safeties will help you win championships as role players. Keep your defensive coordinator happy with their reliability, but don't expect them to be the focal point of your defense. Here in level 3, we'll begin talking about really good to even great safeties. Some of them may even be your favorite. What separates them from the normal starters is that these guys have the ability to be impact players when needed, and actually anchor some of the most explosive defenses in NFL history. So to start, we have Derwin James. He's been the versatile playmaker for the Los Angeles Chargers for years now, putting up 604 career tackles, 17 sacks, and 9 interceptions, while being named to 3 Pro Bowls and earning All-Pro honors multiple times. Derwin James' 2018 to 2019 peak was special. Made an All-Pro, Pro Bowl, while being the anchor of LA's defense. Jamal Adams had his peak years with the Jets as well, putting up elite production with over 21.5 career sacks. Jamal Adams showed what he could do in New York, but once he got traded to Seattle and beyond, the production fell off significantly. Brian Branch's impact is insane. With already over 7 interceptions, it's been extremely impressive, showing he could make plays at the highest level right away. He's still early in his career and needs to prove he can maintain that level of high play over multiple seasons for me to put him in the next tier. You have guys like Jordan Poyer, Kevin Byard, Antoine Winfield Jr., Xavier McKinney, and Jesse Bates here as well. These guys are great high-level starters, just not the Ring of Honor honorees like the next group. The Ring of Honor players. Kyle Hamilton is the perfect example of this level's ceiling and current trajectory. When he can stay healthy, he's absolutely dominant. 2023 All-Pro season with 4 interceptions and elite coverage made him look like a future superstar Hall of Famer. But what separates him is he's still building his legacy. 3 seasons with 2 Pro Bowls and a first-team All-Pro, he's definitely on his way to the next tier. Kam Chnanceller might be the most physically dominant safety at this level. 4 Pro Bowls, 2 All-Pro selections, and he was the enforcer on the Legion of Boom. His 2013 and 2014 peak was absolutely incredible, anchoring one of the greatest defenses in NFL history. But here's the thing. Despite all the individual success and team accomplishments, Chnanceller's career was cut short by injuries, and he doesn't quite have the longevity for Canton. Sean Taylor represents the tragic what-if of this level. 2 Pro Bowls, an All-Pro selection, and he was putting together an incredible 2007 season with 5 interceptions in just 9 games before his life was tragically cut short. In just 4 seasons, Taylor had 12 interceptions, 305 tackles, and was already being mentioned among the elite safeties in the game. Devin McCourty, Harrison Smith, Darren Woodson, and Rodney Harrison are guys here as well. Darren Sharper too. He would probably be higher, but committing heinous crimes and doing a bid knocks you down at least a tier. These guys are really, really good. They made multiple Pro Bowls, earned All-Pro recognition, and been the anchors of some championship caliber defenses, just not quite at the Hall of Fame level, whether due to career length, sustained peak performance, or circumstances beyond their control. In level 5, at their peaks, these guys were absolutely special. They're probably making the Hall of Fame, just not a complete lock yet. Eric Berry, single-handedly anchoring Kansas City's defense during their rise, putting up 14 interceptions and 445 tackles with 5 Pro Bowls, 3 All-Pro selections, plus that incredible comeback story from cancer. Honey Badger represents the consistency and longevity of this level. He's been elite everywhere he's played: Arizona, Houston, Kansas City, and towards the tail end of New Orleans. 36 career interceptions, 3 All-Pro selections, and he's been the defensive quarterback on multiple championship caliber teams. Bob Sanders, the most dominant safety you've probably forgotten about. 2-time Pro Bowler, 2-time All-Pro, 2007 Defensive Player of the Year, and a Super Bowl champ with Indianapolis. They would not have won that Super Bowl without him. Here's the problem with Bob. Bob Sanders only played more than 10 games in a season just 3 times in his career, constantly dealing with injuries that kept him off the field. But when he played, he was arguably the most impactful safety in the game. Guys like Minkah Fitzpatrick, Earl Thomas, and Eric Weddle are here as well. Possibly on the Hall of Fame watch, held the title as the best safety in the league for multiple seasons, but are not the first ballot Hall of Fame lock just yet. First ballot Hall of Famers. These safeties can slow down the game, speed it up, then switch gears completely and do something you've never seen before. Take Brian Dawkins, Weapon X. With his all-time intensity, his 16-year career was absolutely ridiculous. 9 Pro Bowls, 4 All-Pro selections, 37 interceptions, and 26 sacks. The man was literally unstoppable, combining his coverage skills with game-breaking blitz ability that offenses simply couldn't account for. Rod Woodson, doing all the things that shouldn't physically be possible with his athleticism and football IQ. A 17-year career was legendary. Over 11 Pro Bowls, 6 All-Pro selections, and multiple of those being either at cornerback or safety. Troy Polamalu had the combination of instincts, hair, and pure football genius that was just unfair. His 12-year peak was absolutely dominant. 8 Pro Bowls, 4 All-Pro selections, 32 interceptions, and the 2010 Defensive Player of the Year award. These guys were obvious first ballot Hall of Famers. Dawkins got in 2018, Woodson in 09, Polamalu in 2020. You have guys like Steve Atwater, Paul Krause, John Lynch, Charles Woodson, Larry Wilson, all are here as well. Here's the thing about level 6. They're almost close to that top level, but they just weren't the best. And that's what we have up next. Here, there's only 2 players. I really couldn't give any more, and by far the fewest amount of players I've had in level 7s across all of the different videos I've done. You have Ed Reed and Ronnie Lott. Ed Reed with the ball hawking mastery and field vision that was just otherworldly. The man was basically a coach on the field, reading quarterbacks like he wrote the playbook himself, making interceptions look routine that other safeties couldn't even dream of. 64 career interceptions for 1,590 yards and 7 touchdowns. In that legendary 04 Defensive Player of the Year season. He could do absolutely everything. Tom Brady, before playing the Ravens, would always have to write down, "Find Ed Reed and don't throw it at him." Peyton Manning absolutely feared him. Bill Belichick called him the best free safety he's ever seen. Ronnie Lott with that freakish combination of coverage ability and hitting power that elevated everyone around him no matter what position he played. Cornerback, safety, he could do it all. 63 interceptions for 730 yards, 10 Pro Bowls, 6 All-Pro selections, and he proved he could do it playing whatever, with or without all 10 fingers. These 2 are the best there ever were, unchallenged by any critic or detractor. In the future, whenever you look back on the safety position, you're going to look at these 2 players. They checked every single box. And so there you have it, the 7 levels of NFL safeties. From the first round busts who set franchises back, to the masters who redefine what the position could be. Every safety you've ever watched, every name you ever heard fits somewhere on this spectrum. Whether we're talking about safeties from the 1980s or guys playing today, the levels remain the same, no matter the system, the game, or the era.